Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. So before I get started, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going to be a bit of a dick in this review. I'm going to be somewhat mean. If you watch the episode, been watching the channel for a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So before I get started, I will leave, because there's another person. There's another soap reviewer. She does all four reviews on, all the four shows, which is amazing because I got to build myself back up to that point. But I will try to leave her name in the description box, and I'm doing that because I know that she's going to be a lot nicer than I am. So, fair warning before I get started. Yeah, I'm not going to be nice in some of this review. So, yeah. This woman, Grace, I swear, I feel, here's the thing, every time that she's on screen, you ever just saw somebody that just not just turns your stomach but also raises your blood pressure? Like you ever just seen somebody, like even in real life, you just seen that one person and you just are like, ugh, like you can't stand the existence of this person being on the same planet as you. Grace is that person. Grace is trash. Grace is just absolute garbage, and I will get to this review in a minute. But Grace is just the. I think the last time I felt something similar was Nina on GH, and somehow Grace is somehow worse. I mean, don't get me wrong; like they're both pretty bad. Grace, I think Grace is. I think they're actually both pretty bad, to be honest. Yeah, they're both actually evenly bad. Um, this piece of garbage is watching her daughter make out with Carter. This is after Paris is like, you need to go. Like, I got work to do. Don't you have work or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or something to do? Something to do other than be like, ugh. This over parenting crap is just. Anyway, she's standing there and she's watching this. You know what this piece of garbage actually does? She runs the ridge and starts whining and complaining. And then she says something that I I had a question if I actually want to finish watching this episode. Okay? Because the truth of the matter is, this is a real concern. This is a real thing. Like Me Too and things like that. The reason why that is there is for victims to actually deal with harassment at work. Okay? Not necessarily, but harassment at work. Regardless if it's just words. Okay, people really deal with that on a daily basis, and there's a reason why that is in place. Why Me Too and Time's Up and everything like that is in place for actual real victims. And this idiot goes in there and tells Ridge that my daughter is being harassed. You put a label like that on somebody. It doesn't matter if you're innocent or if you're guilty, because people will always look at you like you're guilty. So for her to say that and take something that real and men deal with it too. Okay, not just women. It's a smaller number, but we deal with it too. To take something like that just because how dare my daughter defy me? How dare this man sit there and not do what I say because I snap my fingers and he should do what I say? Because of that, she lied about Carter. And I'm just like, listen, no matter what this woman does moving forward, I don't think I'm ever going to actually have any respect for her character. And I'm 99% sure I'm going to sit there and talk about her in a very negative capacity because um, I don't feel like she deserves anything other than to be treated like the piece of garbage that she is. Um, like I said, I told you I was going to be a dick in this review. She goes to Ridge. She's like, he's doing this, that, and the third. Ridge goes to Carter and it's like, Grace was Smith is saying some stuff about you. Just tell me it's not true, and we could just kind of just move on. This idiot decides to say, no, it's true. I have to move on my life. I want to sit there and find that happy. I was like, does this idiot not realize that he is literally about to be fired for sexual harassment in the workplace? Like, you can't be this stupid. I know this is a soap opera, so I'm trying to let certain things fly, but I mean, you can't be this dumb. Like, it's not possible. And I understand that sometimes the smartest people can say the dumbest things, and I feel like that's the case with Carter. So, getting past that, Ridge in the office, being addicted to Quinn, because here's the thing. At first, he was looking at the numbers of Quinn. He was like, "Yo, you're doing even better than you're doing last year. Like you're doing amazing." He's actually giving his woman a compliment. We don't know how he feels about this woman. He's giving her a compliment. She's like, "Yeah, that's great." Now she's pissed off because, Eric is not spending enough time with her, right? And at first, he's like, listen, why don't you go to the club, learn how to play pickup ball or whatever the hell it is that he plays, and do something fun together. Which in reality is a great idea, But she's just so up in the world that he's like, what, you should be lucky that he's actually, decided to take you back after what you did with Carter. She's like, I don't need you to sit there and throw that in my face. I'm like, well, first of all, let's not sit there and try to act like that's not reality, okay? That did happen, okay? That happened. You need to just kind of accept that. And then towards the end, Rich is like, listen, I was just pulling your chain. My dad loves you, and I know that you love him. Like, so let me get this straight. You're just being a dick to be a dick? Okay, yeah, that's not exactly mature, but okay, fine, whatever. Um, he does get back. She does get back. She wound up seeing Eric. Now, Eric is sitting there daydreaming about Donna. Gwen comes in there. She's all like, oh, hope you're thinking about me. Oh, I gotta take that back. I don't want to sound like all insecure and stuff like that. And Eric's like, no, you should feel like you're wanted, like you're loved. I'm like, Eric. And before she left to go see Eric, I think she said something along the lines of, you know, he's not a vindictive, spiteful man. And I'm like, I get that that's foreshadowing, but I'm like, bro, don't sit there and try to act like you didn't do this first, okay? So whatever you get moving forward, that's on you. This is exactly why I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of cheating. I'm an advocate of fair play, but I'm not a fan of cheating. Okay, if somebody wants to take somebody back after they cheated, it's not my thing. But best of luck to you. Um, but when Eric is Snitcher talking about this, that, and third, and he loves her, and he's saying all these romantic words and everything like that, there's a part of me that's like, bro, listen, I know the guys supposed to stick together and supposed to have this bro code, but I'm gonna be completely honest. As much as I'm an advocate for fair play, and as much as I don't really exactly like Quinn that much, I still feel that what he's doing to her is wrong. Like, it's wrong in the sense of saying all this nice stuff and making her feel like she is this lucky woman. In reality, you are literally stabbing this woman in the back. Probably shouldn't have used the whole thing, but you're literally stabbing this woman in the back. And you're just like, this is one of those things where it's like, my goodness, I'm so glad that you're an older person, because there are certain people that I try not to disrespect. Or certain things that will, I guess you sit there and say kryptonite. Animals. I don't like abuse on animals, children, or elderly. All right. So it's very hard for me to sit there and really muster up the energy of being like, Eric, you are such a, like, even when he fired Donna over that BS, and it's still BS to this day, I was like, man, you are so lucky you are an older person, because I would have. But it turned out that It turns out that he was giving her a nice severance package. I know that sounds really bad, but I mean, come on, that's literally what he did. He literally fired her, and then he decided, eh, I mean, since you're not at work, and I could sit there and make up some sort of excuse. I mean, yeah, it what it is. Like, uh, yeah, I said nice severance package. I did, but I mean, at least it's working. All right, at least it's working. They had the whole thing, and I remember the actor going on some talk show, and he was like, "I'm involved with this story. This it's kind of an embarrassing story." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." Until you find out that it's not, it does not working. It's her does not making it work. Okay, it's just. Meanwhile, you got the well, you got the three of these women. I was trying to find some sort of joke, and I really couldn't after the whole severance package thing. Um, so you got Donna. I can't even know. I don't even know who that third person was. You had Kate, Hope, and Donna talking. They're talking about Bill and asking, what's going on with Bill? You're gonna get back together with Bill? And she's like, I don't know. I'm still kind of guarded. Maybe maybe he still has a thing for Brooke. And I'm just like, boo. Listen, when I left, you was sitting there contemplating about being with Bill. I come back. Okay, I come back. And guess what? She's still contemplating about being with Bill. I'm just like, bro, listen, if you don't want to be with Bill, can you just do everybody in the world that is watching the show a favor and just be like, you're just going to put a kibosh on that? Because this whole, I don't know, maybe, yes, no. I'm like, bro, we've been we've been thinking about that since I was able. Okay, let me just tell you how embarrassing this is. Just how bad this is. She's been contemplating her decision with getting back together with Bill since I learned how to do thumbnails on YouTube. Okay, let's just think about that for a minute. She's been contemplating about being back in a relationship with Bill since I learned how to do thumbnails on YouTube. I know that soap operas go in this bubble of time that we're just not privy to, but like, boo, come on. Of course, they get back. They talk about Brooke for a little bit and Sheila. They talk about Sheila and what the hell else? Oh, and they talk about Donna. And Donna, how Donna loves to switch the subject. Hey, Donna, you sitting there seeing somebody? Seeing somebody on special? Special. I see all sorts of special people like you, my family, my friends. I mean, everyone's technically special. I feel like they're just looking at each other like, that's not what I said at all. What is wrong with this woman? Have you had too much mimosas? You want to slow down a little bit? Like, we asked you a direct question, like, what's going on with your love life? Oh yeah, Coin is so lucky to be with Eric. I feel like if I was sitting in that group, I would have to have something a little bit stronger than mimosas to kind of get me through that conversation because, oh my goodness, oof. Oh, did I not sit there and talk about how awful that sex scene was and how I don't understand why they even bother to still do that to this day? I guess I just feel like at this point, like if you're looking for that sort of stuff, that's all we have the internet for. Okay, this is why we have the internet for. I'm not trying to be gross, but this is what we have the internet for. Okay, I feel like there's so many rules and everything like that in place, and people complain so much about every single little thing from violence to not being represented enough, which I get, but sometimes it gets to a point where it's like I'm all for representation as long as it does not destroy whatever it is that you're doing. I feel like story should come first and representation should come afterwards because if you don't have that, you don't really have anything. And of course, sex scenes. And we're all adults. We're watching the show. We're all adults. We know how that stuff works. Why do they feel the need to actually put it in soap opera still? I have no idea. Maybe in the 90s, Well, the '90s was the Wild West, and they used to put stuff on TV and say things on TV that I'm just like, how in the world? On a side note, before I go, remember that show a while back called Married Children? That was a show that I used to watch when I was a kid that I really probably shouldn't have been watching, and it's a show that got canceled twice. And I don't know how they actually managed to put the stuff on that they did, but somehow they thought it was a good idea to have it come back on as a cartoon. And I'm just like, have these people lost their damn minds? So I just pulled a Martin run and just said, no, I'm not gonna do it. Um, it was sort of related because as far as the sex scene, so I didn't veer off too far off course. I feel like that's about it. I really do. Yeah, if I can get her, I should be able to get her name. Uh, the sad thing is that I don't regret anything I said. I really don't. There's times where I'm just like, man, I wonder if I went too far in certain people and certain characters. This chick, nope, 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 nope. I don't. But I'm pretty sure she's going to be a hell of a lot more nicer than I am. So, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. See you in the next video.